I'm Jane from Poppy Patchwork, and today I'm going to show you how to make a block called Carrie Nation. You will need 6 3.5 inch squares in background fabric, 2 3.5 inch squares in fabric A, 4 3.5 inch squares in fabric B, 2 2" by 16" strips in fabric C, and 2 2" by 16" strips in fabric D. I've designed this quilt block notebook, which I use when I'm planning out the blocks that I'm going to do videos for, and you may find it useful. You can buy it from Amazon, and if you scan this code using your phone, it'll take you straight to the Amazon page for it. Now, let's get quilting. We're going to start by placing these 2 strips right sides together. I'm going to take that to the sewing machine and I'm going to sew a 1/4 inch seam down the long side. So back over at the ironing board, I'm going to set the seam and then I'm going to press it towards the darker fabric. And now we need to subcut this. So I'm going to start by leveling up one edge here. I'm going to line on the ruler along that seam and make a cut here. And I'm going to turn that piece around and I'm going to line 2.5 inches up against that freshly cut piece or freshly cut edge, and I'm going to use the ruler to line up along the seam line here, and I'm going to cut 2.5 inch strips. So you can see I do have some excess here. That's just going to be discarded. So you could have cut your strips a little bit shorter, but I like to make sure that I don't run out of fabric. So now these are going to be turned around like this, and I can immediately see that I have not cut enough for these because I need 8 4 patches, and I'm only going to be able to make 2 4 patches. So I'm going to go and cut 2 more 11 inch strips of fabric and sew them together again, and then I'll come back and show you that I've actually got 4 patches. The measurements that I have given you at the beginning of the video are correct. So now I've got 8 2 patches. I need to join these together to make 4 4 patches. So I'm going to twist these around like so, and then because they've all been pressed towards the darker fabric, these seams are going to nest together. So I'm going to pop a pin in here and then one at either end. So I'm going to take these over to the sewing machine and I'm going to sew a 1/4 inch seam along the pinned edge. So now I'm going to press those seams. So I'm going to start by setting the seams and then I'm going to press them to one side. You could press them open for a flatter finish, but because they're not going to be joined together now with any other seams, it's easier to press them to one side. So now we're going to put them into the block layout. So I'm just going to refer to my book so that I get the fabrics placed in the way that I wanted them in my design. So the D's are the stripes and they're basically going through the centre of the block. Like so. And then the A's are fabric A, the large floral, and they're going to go in opposite corners. And then fabric B, which is the little mini florals, they're going to go either side of the large florals, like that. And then the background fabrics are going to go in the gaps. Okay, so that is the way I've laid it out, and you can see that I've used the kind of lighter background fabric of the stripes to run through the centre. I could have turned these around and had that mini or smaller floral running through the centre, and that would have made it quite a dominant line in the centre. I particularly didn't want that, and I believe the way that the Carrie Nation block is designed, it's designed not to have that dominant pattern through the centre, but to actually have the dominant fabrics running here, kind of off the centre. So what I'm now going to do is, you could do it two ways. You could make 4 patches by joining these into 4 patches and these into 4 patches, and so on and so on, or you can just join them in strips like this. So I think I'm going to join mine in strips, so that means I can join these all up in pairs now. Okay, so I'm going to take these over to the sewing machine and sew them together with a 1/4 inch seam. So I've sewn those together, and before I press the seams, I'm going to put them back into block layout and sew the columns together. So I've got to refer to my book again and remember where I had all these pieces. So now I'm going to pin these two patches, these columns together like this. I don't need to press the seams yet. So I'm going to take those over to the sewing machine and sew a 1/4 inch seam on the pinned edge. So back at the cutting board, I'm going to lay these blocks out as per the design. So that one goes in that corner, and this one goes in this corner. This one goes here. And this one goes here. So I'm going to press the seams for each column in opposite directions. So this column's going to go northways, and this one's going to come south. That's going to go north, and that's going to go south. So you can see the direction that I'm pressing the seams as shown with those arrows. I'm now going to take them over to the pressing board. So I'm going to lay them back out in the right order, and that helps me press them in the correct way. So I'm going to start by setting each of those seams and then pressing away from myself. Now this next column, I'm going to do the same thing. Set the seams. These ones need to be pressed in the opposite direction, but I do want to press away from myself. So I'm going to turn the column around, and now I'm going to press away. And then I'm going to turn it back around again and put it on the pile. Okay, I'm going to take these back now to the cutting mat and place them back into the block layout. And now I'm going to sew this column to this column and this column to this column. And because we've pressed the seams in opposite directions, once again these seams are going to nest. And where they nest, I'm going to pop a pin in them. So I'm going to take these over to the sewing machine and sew a 1/4 inch seam along the pinned edge. So back at the cutting mat, I'm going to lay these back out in block order. There's no need to press yet. I'm going to pin that centre seam now. So I'm going to take that back over to the sewing machine and sew the last seam a 1/4 inch away along the pinned edge. So we're back over at the cutting mat. I'm now going to press all those seams open. So I'm going to start by setting the seams and then pressing it open. And by pressing it open, I'm hoping to get a flatter finish for the block. So I'm going to give that a good press. So congratulations, you have made the 12-inch block called Carrie Nation. Here are some quilt options. This is an illustration of the quilt repeating the same block. There is no sashing or borders, but the use of the white background fabric in the block allows the design and fabrics to stand out. This is an illustration of the quilt repeating the same block placed on point. There is no sashing or borders, but you would need to add blocks in background fabric in between the blocks, shown here with the stars, and add setting triangles around the edges, again shown here with the stars. This is an illustration of the quilt repeating the same block but with sashing, cornerstones and borders. And finally, this is an illustration of a sampler quilt using some of the blocks from this quilt block series. The sashing in this quilt is in the white background fabric. The cornerstones and border is in a darker fabric to pop and frame the quilt. Want to learn more? Watch another one of my videos from the quilt block series. Click above to go to my playlist. I hope you liked this video. Please like and subscribe to my channel. More of these videos will be posted, so please tune in. Thank you for watching and bye for now.